Hey guys, welcome to another Chev Speaks episode. And if you guys remember, around 6 months ago I posted this video where I talked about all the quirks of this S55 behind me right here. Well, in today's video, because I've owned the car for a longer time, I found out more quirks, so I'm just going to update you on all the quirks that I saw. I hope you enjoy these, and let's get to it. So right here, I have the key, right? And I'm going to press the trunk button on it, and I can open the trunk automatically from the remote. Now, however, I can't close it from the remote, but there's an interesting sequence to do when closing. So right here, this is to close it, and this is also to close it. This one right here, if you close it, it only closes the trunk. This closes the trunk and locks the car, which is actually a lot more useful than you might think. If you're walking away, you just tap it, trunk closes, the car locks. You won't have to worry about anything. In fact, my next feature is going to be about the car locking. So now I'm going to press this button. It's going to close the trunk. And if you notice, the car doesn't make a noise, but I set it up to where my mirrors fold in. So I know if my car is locked, because it doesn't make a noise or anything, I can't, on the American models, I don't believe it makes a noise, but I find it really interesting, and that's how I know if my car is locked or not. And of course, you can open it again with the keyless entry, which is actually bringing me to my third quirk of this. Most cars now have keyless entry integrated into the fob, but back in 2003, you carried around this credit card sized object that would go into your wallet, and that would act as the keyless entry. I mean, still pretty cool feature. This keyless entry works all right. The start works a lot better than the keyless entry does. So for this feature, we're hopping into the car, and it's about the infotainment system. Now, this is a system from 2003. This is the first year that they put this 16:9 display inside the W220 S classes. Before, they had the 4:3 display that was right here, and I don't think it looked too good. But you can turn it on without actually starting the car. Let's see, the car's off. There's nothing. I don't even have my accessory on. You can still turn it on. And of course, the Mercedes-Benz logo pops up, and I don't know anyone who's ever gotten distracted by this, honestly, but you can go to CD, and I'll turn this down to avoid copyright claims or whatever, but you can actually name CDs. I can name it, I don't know, A, B, C, but here's the thing. I don't know how to press enter on here, so I can... You can name it, but I'm not sure how to confirm the name of the CD. So leave any helpful tips in the comments section. I feel like a moron. For this next quirk, we're going to be talking about the reading lights. So you would think that the reading lights would be these right here. I mean, because it just seems logical. Well, when you press this button, oh, that doesn't show up. That doesn't light up. But it's still illuminated. You may ask, well, where are these lights? If you look right here, they're on the bottom of the mirror. I just find that really cool, how the placement's a bit more discreet, and I mean, they function really well. I can't complain with it. That's where Mercedes decided to put them. Moving along here, you'll have to believe me on this one, but this car has a center console that's air conditioned. I noticed this because when I left my phone in here and I had my air conditioning running, it would kind of it felt really cold. I was like, I wonder what's going on. Well, I'll actually turn on the lights for this one a little bit. Let's see how good you can see it. But this little switch right here actually controls the airflow. It's not super, it's pretty much an on or off switch, but nonetheless, your glove box, or your center console is still controlled. It's still air conditioned, which I find really interesting. I really like the amount of storage in this car. And another quirk and feature, I'm channeling my inner Doug DeMuro for this one. Another quirk and feature is this storage compartment right here below the seat. It's right here, and it just looks like a part of the seat, but you open it, and there's actually a little bit of space. I mean, I've filled it with sunglasses because I don't know, I don't really have anything to put in there. But in the passenger seat, actually, this car came in 2003 with a Mercedes-Benz first aid kit, and this specific example has not had it tampered with at all. This is the original first aid kit that came with the car in 2003. If you open it up, there's just, you know, first aid stuff. You know, you have band-aids. I don't want to open it and mess it up, but there's just band-aids and some, there's a little booklet, I guess, that tells you what to do in certain emergencies. So that's pretty neat. And I'm struggling to close this, and it fits just perfectly back in there. Also, if you guys remember in the very first video that I did, I was sitting in this passenger seat right here, and I noticed this headrest going up and down without me touching the buttons on the door or just doing anything, just sitting in the seat. Well, I later found out, because I actually accidentally broke it. This passenger seat has a scale on it or something that measures the weight, and if the weight is above a certain number, such as if a human was riding in there, then this headrest will pop up. But whenever the human leaves, the headrest will automatically go down. And I found that out because I stuck my phone in the little gap while I was sitting in there, and then when I came around to this side, I was filming a video, I tried to go down and it just broke. It kind of works now, sometimes it does. I feel really dumb for that, and I made a mistake. I'm not gonna hide it, but it's really good because it actually helps with your visibility. Whenever I'm backing out of the driveway, I can see through that window very well if I don't have anybody here, because this headrest would be in the way, which is a really cool idea, and I'm very glad Mercedes thought of it. So here, if we come down and open the hood right there, you'll realize here that there is a hood vent that runs all the way across the hood, right? But if you notice right here, there's a vent, but right there it's nothing. So while this may go across the entire, it may look like it goes across the entire hood, this is actually just capped right there, and this is the only hood air vent in the car, which is really interesting. So here you see me on a different day yet again. I think this is the 4th day which I'm filming this video. I just keep on thinking of new things to talk about. We're going back to the engine on this one. Let me open it up right here. But as many of you know, every AMG engine, or at least most AMG engines, I know some of the new ones are not hand-built, but most every AMG engine, I think actually all AMG engines from before a certain date were hand-built. This engine's no exception. And if you can see right here, right on the supercharger, it's really hot, you can see the plaque of the person who made it. My person who made it is Serafino Zanetti, I believe is his name. You can go on this AMG private lounge website and you can look up all the names and plaques of the engine builders, and it's really cool. If you hold it down for a few seconds, you will see that a menu will pop up, and there's these NR.00, and there's this whole spreadsheet I found online of what all the functions mean, but you can scroll through these menus and it tells you a different thing about the car. I know that, for instance, I believe NR21 is your RPMs, and it's a live readout, and it's updated very many times a second, so it's not really laggy. NR22 is your speed, and you know, there's just some other things. I believe NR24 is your battery voltage, so you can see whether your alternator is working or not, and in general there's just a lot of sensors and stuff. It doesn't go all the way up to 100, or it does go all the way to 100, but it does skip some numbers, and I'm not sure what a lot of these are, but I'm sure you can find something online that will tell you. And anyways, that is the conclusion to part 2 of the quirks and features of an S55 AMG video. If you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you guys later.